Hey YouTube, Alex here. This is map 24, Gaia's Temple. Another hot start, but not as bad as map 23. Again, you have to have a plan when you're going into these episodes, in the Earth Jungle episode. Or maps, I should say. Okay, blue key, don't pick it up, but I take these sniping revenants out. Usually 3 shots each does it. 6% health, right? Well, deal with it. Now, when you press the switch, you get the BFG, but Scythe is waiting for you. So what I like to do is I like to try to get him to infight, but I don't rely on it. Okay, snipe these chain gunners that are on both sides, so you can't just chill out. This jungle is beautiful. I mean, really, all the lava paired with the green mossy textures. Plus the MIDI is just so eerie. It's almost inviting. Like, this level is a challenge. Take me on if you dare. Alright, you're pretty safe here. Scythe isn't going to be able to get you. Of course, you have to be watching what him and everybody else is doing. I take out these Hell Knights pretty shortly, but this first arena is not as difficult as the rest of it, believe it or not. And the idea behind this map is there are essentially 3 keys, so there are 3 different paths that you have to take and 3 different, like, I guess sub-levels, if you want to call them the sub-levels. And one of them clearly takes the cake for the most difficult. So you have to tackle that one first. Especially since I ended up doing this without saves. And on my first time, too. I practiced this one a bunch of times, however, so I'm not, like, magic, but... Okay, so that's going to be a common strategy. The Scythe likes to infight with people, and as soon as his back is turned, that's when you fire. Okay, now I need these rockets, but they're kind of hidden behind these revenants. There's a line def that allows them to teleport, so... Yeah, so if you're looking at me in the background and you're like, that's not your apartment, it's actually my parents' house. I'm visiting them because I'm in Florida, and there's a huge hurricane, Hurricane Milton, that is suspected of being able to wipe out all of Tampa. Okay, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but certainly flood the whole area. Okay, so we killed that Archie, but there's going to be one Archie that we are not going to kill. We actually need to make an Archvile jump, and I'm going to explain what that is in just a minute. Then I'm going to try to explain how you could possibly beat the level without doing that, because this is kind of ridiculous. But that's why I tackle this key first. Just because this is the most, like, RNG dependent. Alrighty then. Okay, now there is a Megasphere. It is going to be trapped by 2 Archviles and 2 Barons on either side. I avoid the Megasphere. Then I let the second Archie come to me. Of course, it's going to resurrect that Baron. That's fine. Okay, that's a little annoying. Resurrecting that Cacodemon. Crap. Okay, so I take that armor just to be able to survive this jump. Okay, now you have to walk on the ledges, and there's an invulnerability sphere right here. I don't make it this time, but you know what? Screw that. So I'm id clipping because I didn't feel like doing that again. So if you want to say that I cheated, go for it, but I could have done the level again. And you have to be fast. You have to be fast. Watch what I do. You have to run to the other side, get as much ammo as possible, and press the switch and just hold down the fire button. I'm just gonna let you watch this. 3% health. I've got to get more health. I end up just taking the Megasphere. Now, I don't even know how to explain that fight. You might be wondering, how is that even possible without the invulnerability? I've done it once through save scumming. Unfortunately, what's going to happen is all like 10 or dozens of those archviles, they're all going to come to this arena where the Cyber Demon initially was, and you're just gonna have to take them off one by one. And they're gonna continuously resurrect things. It's gonna waste all your ammo. Good luck completing the rest of the map with your sanity intact. I think I handle the archviles, so now I take out these little pockets of monsters. And it's very symmetric. First up, we have the Revenants. And then I go to the other side, tackle those Revenants. Yeah, but it was just crazy to see because I went to the bank today to get a new card. Because my chip was kind of old, and I saw on the computer screen, not the computer screen, but they had a little television behind the bank tellers, and there was Tampa right on the news. Hurricane Milton, Category 5 hurricane, and it's just wild. It really makes you see things from a different perspective when you see your own town on a map, like hundreds of miles away. But thankfully I am safe. Most valuable thing I have in my apartment is my digital piano. Cost me $2,000. I just hope that doesn't flood. Okay, so do not pick up the blue key unless you're ready. And I could have probably done it, but I needed to get the red key first because that is the most difficult of the keys. We're still on one key right now. The other two are, like, I don't want to say more straightforward because they're still difficult. You can still die, but there's also a chain gunner. I snipe them off from here. Okay, and then what you're gonna have to do, there are 2 archviles with a lot of Revenants. The reason that's dangerous, they can't hit you from here, but they can resurrect each other, and that's just annoying. You have to continuously fire the BFG and hope that the Revenants, or hope that the archviles get taken out. So see, shotgun, don't use the shotgun. Use the rocket and just finish them off. I don't know why I'm using the shotgun. Come on, rocket, 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 rocket. All right, second archvile's dead. Now you can snipe off the remaining Revenants with the double barrel. Now there is a Soul Sphere and a Mega Armor, so in theory you could have 200% health and 200% armor. I don't take the bait yet. What I do is I look for any remaining cell packs, because I like to have at least 1 BFG shot in reserve for this next fight. It's going to be a couple of Barons, but then when you jump down, a Cyber is going to teleport in. Now, this is kind of RNG dependent because he doesn't always, like, the Barons don't always line up in a way that the Cyber infights with them. But now, what did I say? Snipe him in the butt. That at least helps. Okay. I just pumped my fist in victory, and that's because hardest part of the map is done. But don't worry, you can still easily die. There are going to be 4 archviles. Here's the first of them. Alright, Alright, now Archie is infighting with the Mancubus, so while his back is turned. Okay, now the remaining 3, you just have to be really careful. They're all in this room. Here's what I do. 2 BFGs usually take out all 3. If not, then just keep it on reserve. One thing I don't like is that you have this blur sphere, which you can sometimes avoid, but I just don't like the blur sphere. Ah, darn. Okay. I tried not to pick up that cell pack because I had over 500. Now, as soon as you step here, Revenants and an Archvile. Why did I go back to the shotgun? That's just more work for me, and I waste more BFG shots. I wasted way more than I needed to, but that's okay. Alright, next I take off this Mancubus. This is the second fight that's kind of infamous in this map for killing players, but I haven't had a lot of bad luck with this one. Still, there is a Mega Armor and there's a Soul Sphere right there, so I don't know why he didn't just give you a Mega Sphere, but you want to get out of there as soon as possible. So usually when you hold down the BFG, let it take out as many Revenants as possible and then just run. And the remainder is me just kind of sniping off these Revenants. Now take my advice, like, you want to try to stay as close to that area as possible, otherwise they're just going to be all over the place, and you really don't want that. Really easy to die. Although, no Archviles, so I guess it is safe if you wanted to exit the area and snipe them off from afar. Okay, cheap shot, skeleton. Alright, there are still many Revenants. Have to know how to dodge their missiles, the heat-seeking ones. Yeah, so technically the Revenants can come in like this one. I don't like it. Thankfully, if they are heat-seeking and they make like a circle path, a circuitous path, they're always going to slam into something. Narrow hallways like this, so. See? And then, yeah, you just snipe them off like this. $84 rockets, so I think I'm good with rockets. Alright, I think that's everything. Okay. I think what I do now is I go back to that area with all the Archviles and Revenants. And I pick up that Mega Armor and Soul Sphere combo. Because you really want to have a lot of health for this next section. Again, we're still in probable to die territory. But it is getting slightly easier. Okay, 3 chain gunners, I think. 2 rockets usually take them out. But I still shoot just to be sure. 2 Archviles, you want to be, like, bold. Alright, 1 Revenant. I don't really know the purpose of this Revenant, probably to snipe you. And then as soon as you jump down there, that's when a lot of chain gunners, a lot of Revenants are going to spawn in. So, I think the Mega Armor is the trap, or like when you get to the center. Okay, so I get the hell out of dodge. And then I like to stay here, just use the BFG to fire at the surface, but still facing in the direction I want the BFG to go. Right, I think after this, you can just snipe them off with a shotgun. Alright. I don't pick up the Mega Armor. We'll be using that later. But we have our first key. I give you a little thumbs up right there. We got the red key. Well, not really. The red key is in that beginning arena, and there's a Cyber Demon that pops up. Yay! Okay, but first I take care of this Arachnotron and Archvile, because I don't feel like getting sniped. Alright, if you're not sadistic, or I guess that's not the word. If you're not masochistic enough to like battling with Cyber Demons one-on-one, then you need to get over it and develop a love for it, because next couple of levels, man. Okay, but that is the red key, which I highly recommend you go for first. That way, if you die, you know, it's not like you spent 30 minutes on the other keys. And this blue key spawns an Archvile and Evil Marine. So just keep firing. Just keep firing, keep firing. The residual, the splash damage should take care of them. And that's how you handle the blue key. No Cyber Demon pops up for the blue key. I'm guessing it's that beginning Cyber Demon when you hit the switch. Kind of. Doesn't matter. Anyway, we're on to our last key. Again, we're still in territory of this fight can kill you, but what I like to do is I like to go in, get the Cyber Demon's attention, which is to the left, and just stand here and just fire, just like I kind of taught you, alright? Kill that Archvile at any cost. Otherwise it keeps resurrecting stuff. No fun for anybody. Now there's a nice little alcove right here if the Revenant missiles get to be too much. You're safe from them. Unless they're right next to you, of course. That Mancubus, actually his shot actually went through the door. Alright, now there is a Cyber Demon there and I take a rocket. Very dangerous. And there is a Pain Elemental. There are two Pain Elementals, actually. I think they're dead. The Lost Souls are not. Oh, nope. I have to take care of the Pain Elemental. That is priority 1. Otherwise, he's going to spawn Lost Souls until he's blue in the face. Alright, now I'm just going to snipe off these remaining Lost Souls. Hide behind these pillars. That way when they attack you, they'll ram into something. I have died from Lost Souls before. Not in this map, but... Alrighty. Now there's a Cyber Demon. Sometimes if you let everybody infight, everybody else takes care of the Cyber Demon for you. But that's kind of risky. I didn't do it this time for some reason, so... What to do about Cybe? Well, first thing I need is some health. And I am going to take the Mega Armor here. Now, if you go onto that ledge, that is another way of getting the invulnerability. But in my opinion, that is way too late because you're already dealing with the fight that requires the invulnerability. So that Archvile jump is the only feasible way of doing that. Or I should say consistently beating the level. Now this isn't the most exciting. Cyber Demon isn't able to fire off any shots. I guess in theory if he stands right there and he faces you, but still it's actually unlikely. So I just fire him off, rocket style. Good old Doom Episode 3 style. Remember, I think that was called the Tower of Babel. No, that was Episode 2. Episode 3 was like, I think Dis was the last one. God, that was the worst map ever. That was so uncreative. Like, even for Doom. I know it was like the first installment of that, but... And you know, objectively, here's some things that made Dis so horrible. It was extremely short. And the Spider Mastermind was easily taken care of with the ammunition that you got. Alright, sorry that wasn't the most exciting, but there is no way in hell I was fighting it up here. I've done it before, and, you know, it is possible, but don't want to. Okay, now infighting. This is kind of the one example of where infighting is guaranteed. Alright, so there's an Arachnotron, there's also a Chain Gunner. It's very sneaky, like police officers in speed traps. Alright, Hell Knights galore. And all I do is I stand there, and I just swerve left and right. Revenants are going to strike the Hell Knights, and they're going to infight and take each other out, more or less. I'm actually going to skip ahead to when most of them are gone, just because I just swerve left and right for the majority of a couple minutes. So, see you there. Okay, I think I'm about done. There is a Megasphere, so I don't recommend getting that until you clear all these enemies out. A lot of Hell Knights. Well, that was satisfying. Okay, now press the switch. I take out the Mancubus. Alrighty. Is that like 376 enemies? I think there are over 600 in this map. So you're going to want the Megasphere here. You're going to want these cells. When you press the switch, refire the BFG, destroy the Baron, and run. You can see there's a line of Chain Gunners, line of Revenants and Barons, and 2 Archviles that are able to resurrect any of those monsters on the ledges. Sometimes the Chain Gunners will infight with the Baron, but typically when you strike the Baron first, it's kind of like a 10-year-old girl. Permanently has a grudge against you and will never let it go. Okay. So that usually takes care of most of the Chain Gunners. And then after that, sometimes what I do is this. I run over to where that switch initially was, and I just kind of hide out there. You are safe from everything except the Revenant missiles that are heat-seeking and that make a curvy path. Then from here, I just do the same thing. From hindsight, you could have just done that from the area that I ran off to. And I could have been a lot more careful here. I just wanted those Archviles eliminated immediately. Alright, that still didn't really work out, so I just take a rocket launcher and launch that Archvile to hell. Not the best way that I've handled that, but certainly not the worst, and it got the job done. So, that switch released that key. And another Scythe! Isn't that lovely? I'm looking for cells. Now, where did I leave my cells? Well, let's go back to that arena we were just in. I think I left a couple of energy cell packs. Also, I love that whenever you get the yellow and red key, because you press that switch, the key like hangs out on a ledge, symbolizing that you completed what you needed to do. Little details like that make me love this map. The MIDI is also really easy to listen to on loop over and over again. I can't say that about many MIDIs, about a lot of music, but this one certainly has that quality. Okay, I really just want one BFG shot here. That's kind of important. And I remember I have now a bunch of BFG shots. Okay, so once you get all 3 keys, what now? There are still like over 200 enemies left. We'll take care of 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, each of these are locked away by a key. When you press the switch, a different horde of monsters are going to teleport in. This one is the imps, because it was guarded by an imp. I think here I start off with the rocket launcher. I run out of rockets, though. Then I just use the shotgun. You're not using the shotgun for much else. And you're not really starved for ammo. You can see that some of those fights, I didn't even handle them optimally, and I still have enough ammo. Now, you can't go overboard. There is a limit to Eric Alm's generosity, but as I'm annotating this, I'm really happy to see that the frame rate and quality of the video look decent. I was really scared that with all the monsters, especially ones teleporting in, and this is my parents' house, so I didn't know about the Wi-Fi, but I am glad that the quality is consistent. One thing that I don't like about those switches, the key switches, is you're forced to take a soul sphere. And that's fine, because sometimes you need it, but in this case, I have 200. I don't want a soul sphere, but you're going to be forced to get one. I think I'm looking for shells. And I realized that I believe there are some shells here. Yep, there are. Now, this one is guarded by a chain gunner dude. One thing I don't like is the one that's guarded by a chain gunner dude spawns in revenants. They have just put like a revenant there. Would have been a little awkward, but it would have made more sense. The third door, by the way, that is guarded by a pinky, but yet it spawns in chain gunners. The reason I bring that up is I've noticed that it's actually a good strategy to spawn in the second and third groups of enemies, so the revenants and the chain gunners often will infight, which is always a good thing. So here I'm just wasting my BFG. I have 4 shots left. One, 2, 3, and 4. That was a very poor usage of those shots. By the way, I know I'm saying a lot of bad things about myself, like, oh, I could have handled this fight better, or this would have been more optimal, but I really am proud of myself for completing this level. I don't know if I'm ever going to do Whispering Winds saveless. It's possible, because I think I only needed a couple of saves anyway. But it's just very nerve-wracking. Okay, now, here's what I'm going to say about this last group. It doesn't matter what health you end up with. So just go all in if you need to. Just don't die. You're going to get a Megasphere at the end of this anyway, so yeah, that's why I prefer the Revenants to infight with the Chain Gunner dudes, mostly because the Chain Gunners are the only ones that can actually strike you from here. It might not be a bad idea to spawn in all 3 groups, Imps, Revenants, and Chain Gunners. Yeah, the Revenants aren't going to be able to strike you down here. Unless you're right on the edge. Yeah, I can't see anything. I'm just guessing where they are. But again, it doesn't matter. I have 165 health. just sniping off the remainder of the chain gunners. Now we're almost done with the level. Like I mentioned, your only goal is to not die. And with as much armor and health as we have, it's going to be very difficult to die. All these chain gunners trying to snipe us, by the way, is like foreshadowing for the next level. Oh, Jesus, that one is something else. Now, sometimes I like to look at how many monsters I've killed and just ask myself, okay, if I've killed this many monsters, that means I've killed all of them I can in this area. But I can't really do that consistently because the Archviles resurrect things, the Pain Elementals release lost souls, which increase the monster count. But I'm pretty sure that's it. Okay. Now, when you press the switch, the Megasphere is going to lower, as well as this wall right there. And you're going to have two Cyber Demons that are going to really easily infight with all the monsters. The Revenants are going to escape, and you want to prioritize beating them, because they're just annoying. So yeah, I like to hold my ground here, strafe left and right. When a Revenant gets loose, use the BFG. Otherwise, just go left and right, just like we did with the, what was it, the yellow key? Yeah. Yeah, but I'm smiling at this point, even though you really can't see my face because of the dumb light in the background. But I'm smiling at this point because I'm so close to being done. And unless I'm an idiot, I'm going to beat this level. You all know me well enough to know that I wouldn't spend 33 minutes of a YouTube video just to have me die in the end, so I do complete this level, but... Alright, snipe him, snipe him, snipe him! Oh yeah. It's not over though. We have a couple more Revenants here. I only have one more BFG shot. Yeah, that's it. We're gonna have to be creative now. Yeah. That Archvile jump, it's not required. I hate using the word required because someone is gonna prove me wrong, but to consistently beat the level, I have found that that is the optimal strategy. And since that is the most difficult part, this is easier by comparison. Okay, you see some energy cell packs here and more Revenants. Alrighty. Yeah, those Mancubi are kind of subtle, aren't they? Alright, waiting for them all to come into one area before... Kablamo! Was that 4 Hell Knights? It's always so satisfying. Okay, I think that is everyone. Oh, nope, we have a Revenant. A couple Revenants. Am I really going to waste one BFG shot on this one Revenant? Yeah. Now, there are 2 more little areas. One area has a bunch of Revenants and an Archvile. Not surprisingly, 2 BFGs usually does the trick. And the second area He's going to have a couple of angry Marines, but before that, these two Archviles can get annoying, especially when you release both gates. I've never done that before. I've always tackled the Archviles first. Never put in my head that I needed to take him out first, but it makes sense. Now the two Marines, this is kind of good placement on Eric's part. It's smart. They'll kill you. And that is Gaia's Temple. Thanks so much for watching. Deep breaths. See you in the next episode.